Okay, so, oh my gosh, so last year, I think it was somewhere like in February, somebody at work was talking about this Chinese virus or something, and I didn't know what they were talking about.
Right.
Maybe it was in January, I'm not sure. But then all of a sudden things just started happening. Then I was in the middle of moving to Georgia, so the whole thing with selling my house, looking for a house, and then things started locking down and I started freaking out about, oh my God, because my house was under contract before I had found a house, and the realtors were, oh my God. But it worked out. It worked out. I found a house, and then, you know, my kids were home, and with COVID, it felt like I was trying to corral them, which was not working very well.
Trying to keep them safe.
Trying to keep my idea of safe.
Right.
So I have my daughter at home, and she's fine with the restrictions. She doesn't want to go anywhere. She's kind of like me. But then I got my son, who is like bucking every little boundary that I'm trying to put in place, and he's wanting to go to the gym, and he's wanting to be on Tinder dating.
Oh my God.
And Tinder dating, and he doesn't want to wear a mask, and he's going into the gas station. In my car, he wants to do jujitsu, and I'm like, oh my God. I felt in some ways with him especially, like I was having this internal freak out about safety. And then there was one point in the year I remember like just thinking, okay, I give up, I surrender. If I'm meant to die, oh well, just go do what the hell you want to do. And if I'm not safe, okay, oh well. So after jujitsu, he went.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thing that happened there. Normally, when you're keeping up with current events, watching the news, you see it on TV, and there's a certain degree of separation between what you see on the screen and what you're actually affected by in your personal life.
Right.
Usually, if you turn off the TV, it goes away. But this time, if you turn off the TV, it affects how you go to work. It affects how you go to school. But I don't know how many of my friends I've seen this year. Not many, you know.
Right.
It's yeah, it's definitely it's hard to put in words. You know, it's kind of it's a shock to the system.
Yeah.
We're not used to that, and it's we shouldn't. We say this is a bad year, but at the same time, if you really look at it honestly, it's not near as bad as it could have been.
Yes. Yes.
And I think it's important not to get caught up saying 2020 was so bad, because then we think we did something. You know, we think we did something. We did do something profound. We made it through that year, which it was crazy in a lot of ways. But we still have to keep our guard up. We have to keep our wits about us so we don't become complacent and end up having a worse year following.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I like the way you said that we're all saying it's a bad year. And it is. There's a lot of things that are bad. But way back when our current president was being inaugurated, all I could think is something's good. Something good has got to come out of this. And over the years, it didn't look like anything was coming until this year, when it's such a mess. But so much of real America is being revealed. That's the good part that has come out. All the discrimination, the hatred, the killing. I mean, none of this would have happened. I mean, if George Floyd had not been all over the screens, I don't think a lot of this would happen. And when I think of him and Breonna and Jacob Blake, I just think America, and particularly white America has a better view of what America is really like. Because I've always known we live in a two-sided community, society. Yeah, double standards, triple standards. We have to know how to speak 2 or 3 languages, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Bilingual, yes. So, but now, the white community get to see exactly what we're talking about. That this is America. We are divided. We started divided. In the beginning, it was us and it was them. And it just brought it all to light. That's the one piece that feels like this was not such a bad year.
Right.
Except all the numbers of people that died.
Yeah.
I
I
mean-
agree, Sheila. Like when this first started, I felt like, man, we have an opportunity now to educate people.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where I felt like when you try to tell people about systemic racism or anything, they were like, I don't exist, what are you talking about? But now it's like wide open so people can see it.
Yes.
And they're like, man, I didn't know you were going through this.
Every day.
That's our everyday life. Like,
Yes.
I don't think about it as really going through anything. It's just the way that we've had to live. But yeah, I've used that opportunity to just like start educating people and tell them about. Look at your history. Look at how America began. Look at how, what happened in 1776. Where was the black man in regards of a citizen at that time?
Exactly.
And you're going to tell me there's no systemic racism? I'm like, it began this way.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think we have to try to figure out, how to dismantle this thing. What I was telling somebody before, I said, it's a giant, but you got to cut the toes off the giant so he can bend down so you can cut his head off. And I think so many times we're trying to reach for that giant's head and we're just reaching and reaching, we can't get there. But it's like we start hitting him in his toes and his legs, and he got to bend. That's where we get it at. But I think going, being in school and what little bit of time we can go to school now, starting to use that to talk to the history teachers and say, what can we do to change the flawed history books that we all know is there? Like, let's teach real American history, not just African history or African American history or what we call African American Month or, Black History Month. Let's talk about it as a whole and what it is as American history, because that's what it is. We built this country.
Absolutely.
So-
That's what I thought every time I looked at the Capitol. And
Yeah.
they were proud about their building, but I didn't hear anybody say anything about the black bodies that built that Capitol. Yes. And you talked about systemic racism and this white supremacy. It seems like it's coming to fruition that the whole world can see. There's this group of people that really feel they are superior.
Oh, God.
Yes, yes.
Oh, God.